Manifesting with your aura. This is what we're talking about today, Jen and I, and I'm super excited about it because, as always, we love incorporating our human design, and we also love, here she is, we also love talking about manifestation, especially because we've both noticed when you really align with your energy type, or also known as your aura, you will find that you will manifest faster. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to see if I can get Jen in here um, to come onto the live. Here she is. Awesome. Thanks for waiting around. She'll be here soon. So obviously we're talking about manifestation, and obviously we're talking about the fact that we have this magnetic aura that when we just live in our energetic alignment, we will actually manifest faster. So something that we're going to be talking about today is how do we actually create that alignment? And so here's Jen here right now. Woo!
Yay!
And I did our little intro, so you all know what we're talking about, manifestation and our magnetic aura. And so we're going to go through each of the energy types. And there's 5 different energy types that we're going to be talking about a little bit today, and aligning with that so that you can create that magnetic energy to bring people in, right? To bring people, desires, things that you're calling in for your manifestations. And the more that we find that flow, the more we know how to get ourselves back into the flow when we lose it, right, Jen?
Yes. Yeah. And I think this is so much about honoring our aura, right? The energy that we are in, especially if you do things in person, right? Because you're like literally those
Mhm.
auras are coming into contact, but it still is the case virtually as well. And strategy is a huge part of that because if you're not following your type strategy, your aura's going to suffer. It's going to be lackluster and not really optimize and shine how you are meant to. So I'm so excited to chat through these types and the deconditioning and conditioning that happens and how to really optimize our aura for the best manifestation.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I just put in here, like, the reason you're not manifesting what you desire, because actually we're really manifesting all the time, typically is because we're out of sync. We're not really in alignment with how we should be showing up. And so how can we receive our manifestations, and how can we come into alignment with and receive what we actually desire if we're not really in that sync to begin with? And so that's what's exciting about today, is we're going to talk a little bit about, okay, well, if you're not aligning, this is how you can kind of realign to start opening up to that. So is there an energy type that you want to start with, Jen?
I always like starting with manifesting generators. So if you're up for starting talking about your energy, let's start
Yeah.
there because I feel like I love starting with manifesting generators because generators can relate, manifestors can relate to a certain extent. And with 35% of the world being manifesting generators, like there's a lot to it that a lot of people can resonate with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I'll talk a little bit about both manifesting generators and generators. And the thing is here, both have a different energy type, but when it comes to manifesting generators, I we have a lot of energy, right? We have a lot of different things that we love to do all together. And a lot of times people don't see what we're trying to create because we're tossing around so many different ideas, or we're responding to different things and initiating other things. And it can feel like a lot for other people. And so we learn to be conditioned to, like, why are you doing that way? It doesn't make sense. The fact that you multitask, it's just so much better when you do it in an order. But if you try to convince a manifesting generator to do it in any way that's not within their own energetic aura, you're really pushing them into a state of being boxed in. And
Mm.
when we're boxed in, we can't fully own our power, and therefore call in and manifest what we truly want to create in this lifetime. And so, because we have all this sacral energy and we are wanting to create and we're wanting to call in, and then oftentimes if we have the defined throat, right, where we can really truly speak out our manifestations, it's really important for us to understand that the way that we operate is correct and it is fine. And when we can step into that and create in multiple different facets and lots of different ways and hold that energy and allow for the expansion, then we can sort of open up the flow state to receiving. And that was something that was really hard for me at the start as a manifesting generator, was to open up and to receive, because I always operated in this, like, go, 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 and not the relax back at some stage to open up and receive. And so that was really hard for me at the beginning. Um, Oh, sorry, were you gonna say something?
Oh, but I'm just thinking in terms of like the words that we use to describe the aura, right? The manifesting generator and generator has this open and enveloping aura. Like
Mm,
your energy is always attracting people to you. So if you're not living in alignment, if you're not following your strategy to respond, right? You're not, especially manifesting generators, if you're not using your voice to express, whatever it is that you want, you're essentially like dulling and blocking off your aura. You're blocking,
yeah.
and really, the manifestor aura is big, repelling, but like you may actually be literally repelling. The manifestor aura is just more for like protection and protecting their non-sacral energy. But manifesting generators, you do have this energy. Like you want all the people just to come to you to manifest and then get to respond. Like it gets to be that easy and simple by just being multi-passionate.
That's right, and I think that's the hardest thing to accept is it gets to be that easy. We all struggle with that, I think no matter what energy type we are.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And so the biggest thing, I guess, to come back to for me to follow and stay in alignment is really following, responding to what lights me up and to embrace my multi passions and my multi talented skill. And by doing that, I open up to receive into my desires. And so that's really important for me to always come back to and feel that. And of course, the not self theme for myself and for generators is frustration. So understanding that when I am frustrated in my manifestations or I'm frustrated in how I'm showing up or what I'm doing, then there's something wrong. There's something that I'm not doing correctly. And I can look back like 10 steps, like what did I say yes to that should have been a no, vice versa, to figure out what actually caused that. So I can track it and understand, right, how to live in my energy better.
Yeah, and
And
I
so,
think there's a good point that Ra always spoke to, that we make money in our not self theme. So while like frustration, yes, you totally can be, finding satisfaction there. But really, and I was just talking with a manifesting generator client about this, like utilize that frustration. Like if you find that you really need to sink into that frustration, honor it, navigate it, don't be surprised if you make money while you're there, or something like really big and wonderful, one of your manifestations perhaps also gets
yes.
to come out of that. So not to say like don't experience frustration and avoid it, like no, really embrace it, but also make sure that you're responding and really like honoring that aura, like making it crystal clear so that it's just luring all that goodness and abundance that the universe wants to give to you.
Oh, so beautifully said. Let's pause there.
Well, I have your beautiful throat energy. And I think with Manny Gens, and generators, I'll lump in like deconditioning that sacral, even though it is defined, like making sure that you are honoring when enough is enough, you are
Yeah.
trusting your gut, all of that. And then for the Manny Gens, like making sure your throat is crystal clear, that you are expressing your voices, your expression, what you need to express. And I personally love when clients and myself use Reiki for this, like any
Mm.
any healing modalities, to really optimize that energy center, especially the throat, because it is the manifestation center.
Yes, absolutely, and I can tell you right now with my sort of, like, sinus infection and sore throat, I feel like I can't really speak my truth as easily because of the sore throat, so, like, it really does manifest itself in different ways. It truly does, the energy, the aura of that, but yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking with a manifesting generator friend, and she was like, "Well, let me speak this out, because once I voice it, I manifest it. So here it goes."
Yep, exactly. It is the powerful, powerful, powerful. And then, for a generator, really, it's the same, right? They have that beautiful, enveloping, magnetic aura. So it's pretty much the same. And for generators, it's really following the joy, what brings them joy, right? So they don't have that multi-passionate the way a manifesting generator does, but they do want to stay in that satisfaction mode. Although, like you said, with the frustration, the shadow side is recognizing, right? When they do get that frustration, right, then potentially this is how they figure something out, right, to make money with it. So, but always coming back into that joy and expanding that energy and allowing it to grow and expand to call forth what you truly want to call in.
Yeah, definitely that alignment. And I always think of it on a spectrum. So it's kind of just staying mindful of like, am I in my higher vibration? Am I in that satisfaction? What do I need to do to really get myself there? Right. It's not so much about avoiding the lower end. It's how can I move and progress and up level.
Yes, always looking to up level, right? Yeah. Do you wanna talk about projectors and like the non-sacral beings?
Sure. Let's talk about manifestors first, just because we talked a little bit about them, how important the throat is. Same thing, really honing in on your throat and what fuels your throat, right? What motor is your throat connected to? What channel goes from your throat to the heart, to the solar plexus, to the sacral? Likely wouldn't go to the root, but maybe it is the root that is fueling you. Um, because that's really what you need to speak to, and honoring that aura that it's fixed, right? It is rigid, and knowing that people might bounce off of that. So if you're like, I feel like I'm repelling people, like in a way energetically you may be, but it is for your own protection. Like if they can't make their way through your aura, they are not meant for you. So um waiting, right? Who can come through, who can find their way through your aura, because then they are worthy of your energy. That undefined sacral of all of the non-sacrals doesn't know when enough is enough. So if you're just giving your energy willy-nilly, it's going to burn you out. It's going to bring you a lot of anger. So really honing in on that piece. And the biggest piece, I think, for manifestors to keep that aura protected is making sure you're informing, right? That is your
Mm,
strategy, to inform. Because if you are not informing people, you might lose your energy, right? You might burn out, or you might give people who don't deserve your energy, your time, your mindset. You might be initiating things for them and not for yourself. And I think here, when we've been saying like, let it be easy for manifestors, you're here to initiate, like you're going to get it started, honor those rest cycles and let it get started. Like, don't hold back. I see so many manifestors being like, oh, well, these excuses are here and I'm not going to start that. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, well, I'm like, no, just go do it.
yeah.
Create
Most
it.
manifestors don't know their power, and then once they do know it, it's exactly what makes them magnetic, and so that's where it's so important for the manifestor to own their power and really step into that, and not be afraid of it.
Yeah, and I know so many emotional manifestors. So if you're waiting for that clarity on like, yes, this is what I'm going to initiate, like that's okay
Mm,
to wait for that emotional clarity, inform someone that you're going to go do it, and then go do it. But I think here, like well, really when manifesting for yourself, I feel like your aura isn't that big if it's a full solo manifestation. But if you need people to help you manifest that, then definitely be aware of who is breaking
mm.
through your aura, who is seeing you, who is bringing you peace, who is worthy of your energy that gets to get through that aura.
Ooh, I like that a lot, actually. Good. Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Now,
Projectors.
projectors. My favorite, me. So, similar to the manifester, right? We are still non sacral. So, we need to really be mindful of who we're letting into our space. That's why we need to be mindful of where's the recognition and where's the invitation, because those are the people who are going to help us manifest. If not, and I had a lot of this last week, those are the people who we have manifested or who are going to grant us our manifestations. So yeah, really making sure that you have that recognition, honoring yourself, right? Be aware of that undefined sacral to
Mm,
not burn out, honoring your need for rest. And I think there's a difference in projectors with a defined throat and without a defined throat, right? We're not manifestors, so we don't have that fueled throat. But I find that projectors with a defined throat can, in a way, more easily manifest things because they have that fixed, reliable expression if it's in alignment, right? If their throat has been deconditioned. Whereas I find for me with an undefined throat, it's kind of like, oh, am I talking too much about this? Am I not
Mhm.
talking enough about it, right? I don't always speak my manifestations, and that's where I can get held up. So it's really important for me to make sure that I have people who recognize me to share my manifestations with them, because our aura is so focused and absorbing on the other that it's so easy for us to lose focus on ourselves and just be like, I don't need to recognize myself. I don't need to work on me. Let me
Mhm.
focus on you. Let me help you. Let me guide you. I see you, whether they want to be helped or not.
Yeah, no, and it's so good that you said that because I think what's really important is that as you're recognized, it's like having that biz bestie or that sisterhood that you can feel seen and heard within, and therefore feel that you can call that in and have that recognition. And so that's what planning by design is so great for
Right?
is that sisterhood.
Planning by Design, our monthly membership. If you're looking for a sisterhood, if you are looking for help manifesting to create your goals for accountability, like hop into Planning by Design. So I just want to touch the other thing with projectors is that we are destined for success, and like coming back to the let it
Mm,
be easy, like
yeah,
projectors try to make things so complicated. We try to overdo it, but we are efficient and we can find success. So when I work with client projectors, I'm always like, where can you find the little successes? Because success seems like, especially when you're starting out with human design, like this big unattainable thing, right? I used the
yeah,
example yesterday when I taught about this. Like success may be $1 million, but like, no, that likely will not be your idea, your definition of success, because there's so much else that it can look like and it can be like.
yeah.
So yeah, find that success. And when you let it be easy, when you rest, when you self recognize, right? We have to recognize ourselves in order for others to recognize us. Then you're going to start finding your success and you're going to start manifesting.
Which is all what we want.
Right? Yes. And then lastly, the reflector, the most rare type. So if we have any reflectors here,
Unicorns.
let us know. Comment, and please comment your type. Let us know all the types that we have here joining us live and catching the replay. So with the reflector, your aura is always sampling. Your environment is you, essentially. So if you're having trouble manifesting, check in with your environment. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Where are you putting yourself? Check in with your human design environment, whether that be valleys, shores, kitchens, markets, caves. Go to that place. Put yourself in your environment, the one that is conducive for you living in alignment, and see if you're more easily able to manifest. Bring yourself that surprise and delight, because you get to have that feeling when manifestations come. And I think the other really important thing with reflectors, of course, deconditioning, right? Let the energy flow.
Yeah.
But you're going to take time. As a conscious reflector, I've really needed to honor that my manifestations will take time. Some can come really quick and I love it. But when I'm riding the energy of the whole lunar cycle, like I got to move through that. Plus, especially as an emotional authority, like I got
Mhm.
to make sure that that's something that I really want. Like, do I really want to manifest this, or am I just
Yep.
doing it for fun or because of conditioning? Because I feel like I should.
Right.
Um, so yeah, with the reflector, just waiting for the answers. If you have questions, ask them. Wait for those answers, and ultimately wait those 28 days, knowing that manifestations can come sooner than that, and all the delight and surprise gets to come with it.
Yes, that's such a good feeling.
It's just so good. Like, do you see the delight on my face? I'm just thinking of all the
Yeah.
times that I've created and manifested things and how absolutely wonderful it is.
Yeah. So just to finish this live off, it really is. Go back if you're just coming in now and you missed it, but this is really all about aligning with your energetics, your aura, so that you can really sort of step into the power of being you and be magnetic with how you are. And a lot of us are conditioned to believe a lot of different things about ourselves. And so this is about like peeling off those layers and coming back to really understanding who we are, aligning with that, showing up in that energy, and then calling our manifestations in so much faster
Yeah,
than
and
we
I
have been.
think yes. There's something that's, well, a metaphor that's always used for projectors, but I really want to share this in general terms. For projectors, we talk about being the lighthouse and shining. But I think with what we're talking about here in manifesting, like every one of you gets to shine. Like, how can you stand in your power to
Mhm.
shine, to share your gifts, to really optimize that aura, to practice your strategy and to get to live in your signature, your self theme. So the more that you can shine, I really believe, the universe loves that, and the more abundance you'll get in return, right? It's that law of attraction. So
Yes.
shine, just go shine.
Shine. Sounds so easy, we know, but it
Yeah.
is such an important step to do it. So, to connect with us and make sure for next week, we're going to be coming out talking about one of these strategies each week. So, we'll have a different one each week. Let me see to my little notes to see what comes next. But each week we'll be going over one of these 3 o'clock Mondays Eastern. And so, next week, we're going to be talking about syncing with,
We
nope.
we won't be here next week. You're
Oh,
gonna
that's
be
right. I'm
on
gone.
your, yeah.
On my adventure. That's right. Okay.
So in
So
two
2
and
weeks.
no, because then it's July 1st and we have big July 4th here. So we're not going to be back for 3 weeks until July 8th. Bummer.
Wow.
I'm going to miss you all.
I'm gonna miss you all too. But we're gonna be talking about syncing your cycle with your menstruation cycle, which would be really exciting because this is also talking about how you can utilize your energy, your aura for manifesting, but now syncing it with your cycle instead. So
So definitely catch today's, because like this is the first step, honoring your type, your energetic type. Hopefully you all know your energetic type. If you don't, if you have any questions, please DM either of us. And if you're needing help and accountability, check out Planning by Design, check out individually working with either of us so that you can really understand what this is and really begin to embody it, because
mhm.
strategy is like the biggest thing when it comes to aligning in human design. Ooh, great
Oh,
question.
that is a great question. We were talking about that today, Amy. Um, I mean, we can sync with the moon, but that's not the same as our menstrual cycle. And I'm not premenopausal yet, so I don't have those answers yet.
So my and I am not an expert on this, but my understanding is that you still have a
Like a wave.
semblance of an energetic cycle within you. You don't have the physical proof of it, right? You know when you're starting your cycle, but there
Right.
still is an aspect. I don't think it's like write
Mm.
this off, but I think we'll need to do some research because that is a really good question.
Yeah. Yeah. And we did talk today about tracking like our energetic cycle over the next couple of days, even because of the fact we're coming into the full moon right now. So it's a great time just for any of us to sort of track our energy, what it's feeling like, because then we can know, well, full moons tend to do this to me, right? This is what,
Mhm.
how I'm reacting. This is what I notice, because that's going to allow us again to be more in tune with how our energy is feeling to actually create manifestations.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm always a broken record, but I'm getting used to repeating myself, especially on social media. If you are a conscious or unconscious reflector, you need to be working with the moon. Like, yes, we all can work with the moon
Yeah.
and its energetic cycles. We're all made of water, all of that. But if you are a conscious reflector like myself or an unconscious reflector, you like really need to be working with the moon, because that's how you can harness that energy and you're going to manifest even more.
Yes. That's what it comes down to. We just want to manifest more.
Yes, right? Don't we all? We all want our
Yeah.
dreams to come true and everyday miracles. They do happen.
Yep. They do happen. We're gonna make them happen. Keep following us here.
Yes.